And there's also another way for us to use this equation, but we have to rearrange for us to use law of cosine, but we're given different information. And so here, I don't want to solve for a side, I want to solve for the angle measure. And so I want to get this angle measure by itself. So using all of our algebra skills, I'm going to take this negative piece and I'm going to move it to the other side. And so I'm going to add this whole thing to the other side, 2bc cosine of A. And so over here it's going to go away. And I have 2bc cosine of A. And I'm going to move the a to this side, so minus a squared minus a squared. And so that leaves me, I know I kind of jumped some steps here. This is not the most critical piece. It's just showing you kind of how we rearrange the equation. And so this moved over here and the a squared moved to the other side. So signs changed when we did that. And then I want cosine of A by itself. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to divide this. 2's, b's, c's all divide out. And 2bc is going to be on the other side. So here I have cosine of b squared plus c squared minus a squared over 2bc. And so this, it looks really complicated, and I'm going to show you kind of how the a's fit together, or the b's or the c's. So the angle measure that you're solving for here has the side length that is being subtracted in the equation. Everything else is positive. B's and C's are positive, and B's and C's are also in the denominator. So when we move over to the next page, I want you to stop and I want you to write down all of the different versions of the equation. And that way we can take this and we can solve. So you're going to stop here. Here we're solving for A, B is subtracted, angle C, but side C is subtracted. And so what you may notice in each of these versions here is that you need side A, you need side B, and you need side C. And so this version is going to use all three sides of our triangle. So we need side A, side B, and side C. So side, side, side. So hopefully you stopped, you wrote all of this down, and we're going to go to the next one. And so we're going to try number 3 together. So here we are solving for angle A. And so this would be side C. This one's across from B, so this would be side B. This one is across from side A, so that is side A. And we are solving for cosine of angle A. And so that means that we have B squared, so B squared plus C squared minus A squared over 2BC. And so my B value is 28.7 squared, plus my C value, which is 17.7 squared, minus 25.6 squared, all over 2 times B, which is 28.7 times 17.7. And that is equal to cosine of A. So we're going to take this and we're going to plug all of this into our calculator. So here we have, we're going to have a fraction. And so go ahead and hit the divide sign so that you have the fraction. We have 28.7 squared plus 17.7 squared minus 25.6, I believe. Yes, 25.6 squared, all over 2 times 28.7 times 17.7. So that's all of our fraction. Notice that these two numbers are the same and these two numbers are the same, and that 25.6 is not in the denominator, not there. Okay, and you also may notice, like, hey, Miss H, it gives me a decimal. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But it does, because here we have 0.47. So this is equal to 0.47 is equal to cosine of A. Okay, well, cosine of A is a decimal. Okay, but I don't want cosine of A. I want to undo this. And so the undoing of cosine is inverse cosine. So whatever I do on one side, I have to do to the other. Inverse cosine. Just like when we were solving for angle measures with law of sine, you had to use inverse sine. Here, we're using inverse cosine. And so here, you have a couple of ways you can do that. If you want to do your inverse function, inverse cosine of the whole fraction, you can do that. If you would rather hit enter and do inverse cosine under the function of the answer, so go back to the main and hit answer, it'll give you the same answer. It's just pulling from the previous situation here. And so we have 61.7, and so our angle measure A is 61.7 degrees, and this is our final answer in Go Formative for number 3. So really, a lot of what we're doing today is you have to understand the calculator. You have to get the calculator part. You have to get that. And so it really just takes practice. So take a few minutes and try number 4, doing the same exact thing that we were doing, making sure that whatever side is across from the angle that you're solving for is the part that is subtracted. Good luck.